Good day. Welcome to our next video lesson for the first quarter. Arts, grade 8. For the first lesson in Arts grade 8, we're going to identify the different fabric designs of the countries in Southeast Asia. Lesson objectives. This lesson was designed and written to help you analyze the elements and principles in the production of arts and crafts inspired by the cultures of Southeast Asia in the K-12 curriculum. In this lesson, you may also learn how to appreciate the Southeast Asian, Philippines, Brunei, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, and Vietnam, and you are expected to identify the elements of arts of the Southeast Asian arts. Evaluate the principle of arts in the production of artwork in Southeast Asia and create Malaysian batik. Southeast Asian arts. Fabric design. Southeast Asia, vast region of Asia situated east of the Indian subcontinent and south of China. It consists of two dissimilar portions, a continental projection, commonly called mainland Southeast Asia, and string of archipelagos to the south and east of the mainland, or insular Southeast Asia. In the Southeast Asian arts includes the land of Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, Myanmar, Indonesia, and Singapore. Vocabulary, or the most important terminology for this lesson. Batik, the art of decorating cloth using wax, dye, and has been practiced for centuries. The word batik originated from Javanese tik and means to dot or to drop. The drop action refers to the process of dyeing the fabric by making use of a resist technique, covering areas of cloth with a dye-resistant substance, usually hot wax, to prevent them from absorbing colors. Silk is a natural fiber made by the silkworm cocoon. It is strong and are often used to make cloth. Weaving, the method of textile production in which two distinct sets of yarns or threads are interlaced at right angles to form a fabric. Textile. Textile is a flexible material consisting of a network of natural or artificial fibers. Looms, an apparatus for making fabric by weaving yarn or thread. Dye is used on fabric, hair, yarn, and other fibers, clothing, and food, among other things. Fabric design of Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos. Thailand. Thailand is famous for fabrics, especially its silk produced from the cocoons of Thai silkworm to the loom. Traditionally, there are some main patterns that are used in Thai fabrics. The patterns in the silk were inspired by things in natural world surrounding the weavers, such as the head of rice, snakes, flowers, birds, and leaves, though today many weavers are updating this traditional process with more modern designs. Matmi. Matmi pattern silk is made from a specific kind of dyeing process. It is most commonly seen in the weaving of Isaan or northern eastern Thailand. Yokdort. Yokdort is another kind of pattern that is woven in Thai silk is called yokdort. It is a kind of brocade and often featured an all-over pattern of flowers. Fabric design of Cambodia. Cambodia, silk weaving has been part of Cambodia culture for centuries since textile were used for trading. Modern textile have traces of motifs imitating clothing details on ancient stone sculpture. Two main types of Cambodian weaving: ikat technique, or in Khmer term, chongkit. To create patterns, weavers tie and dye portion of wet yarn before weaving begins. Patterns are diverse and vary by region. Common motifs include lattice, stars, and spots. Even twill. It yields single or two color, which are produced by weaving three so that the color one thread dominates on one side of the fabric, while the two others determine the color on the reverse side. Cambodian textiles employed natural dyes coming from the following: insect nest for the red dye, indigo for blue dye, frohat bark, yellow and green dye, and ebony bark for black dye. Cotton textile have also played a significant role in Cambodian culture. Traditionally, woven cotton remains popular. Rural women often weave homemade cotton fabric which is used in garments and for household purposes. Krama, the traditional check scarves worn almost universally by Cambodian are made of cotton. Fabric design of Lao. Lao is famous for its grown, spun, dyed, hand-woven cotton and silk fabric made by Lao village women. Silk and cotton making process, dyeing and weaving near Vientiane. Silk and cotton weaving by hand is an age-old tradition in the Lao. Strand by strand, Lao stories were weaved in the intricate, dense patterns and motifs of textile. Unfortunately, some are elaborately fantastic and the motif so cryptic that in many cases only the weaver can accurately interpret the story. Scene: the Lao woman's ankle-long skirt, whose form is undeniable, but whose patterns are unique to each skirt. Scene would wear throughout her lifetime. She uses folk icons to express personal views. This is often accomplished by symbolist totems from the inanimate or animate world: crabs for resourcefulness, snakes and fertility, butterflies for beauty, birds for success, and so on. Golden thread silks were born in Vietnam. Many Vietnamese fabrics originated from Ha Dong, the center of weaving and sericulture, silkworm production, for centuries. Old jacquard looms are still used. Weaving patterns conditioning centuries old symbols and characters. Popular Vietnamese fabric: Shantung tapeta and the Bengalin weave. Ebony satin, an all-natural lustrous silk handwoven in southern Vietnam and naturally dyed using ebony fruit pods. The fabric dates back over a century but was only recently revitalized by the designer Vo Viet Chang. Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore. Batik, the traditional fabric of the Indonesia. It would be impossible to visit or live in Indonesia and not to expose to one of the country's most highly developed art form, batik. Natural materials such as cotton or silk are used for the cloth so that it can be absorb the wax that is applied in the dye resisting process. The cloth that is used for batik is washed and boiled in water many times prior to the application of wax so that all traces of starch, lime chalk, and other seasoning matters are removed. There are two categories of batik design: the geometric motifs and the free-form design. The method of Malaysia batik making is also quite different from those of Indonesian Javanese batik. The pattern is larger and simpler. It seldom or never uses canting to create intricate patterns and rely heavily on brush painting method to apply colors on fabrics. Two main types of batik that reproduce. Hand painted with the use of canting a small copper container with or more different size pipes. And the second, block printed, done by welding together strips of metal to form a metal block. The metal block is then dipped into a molten wax and pressed against the fabric in order to make a pattern. Brunei's traditional textile is also called batik, but is uniquely different from Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore. It designed have their national flower, simpur, Sumboy or the pitcher plant, and Brunei's traditional design, the air molo. Different techniques are used in Brunei's batik like airbrushing, cracking, bubble, rainbow, sprinkle, geometry, and marble. These techniques are applied on fabrics like cotton, chiffon, linen, and brocade. And that is the end of the first lesson. Thank you and God bless.